Hey everyone, welcome to the Costume Jewelry Chronicles with Lynn and Carrie. Each episode we will feature a new vintage costume jewelry designer and talk a little bit about jewelry reselling. We hope you enjoy. Welcome everyone to the Jewelry Call. It is November 19th and we're talking Hattie Carnegie today. Okay, so let me go back one. All right, Hattie Carnegie is our topic today, the timeless elegance. We're going to discuss some of the history of the company, the collections, materials, signature elements, and the marks she used. So she was born Henrietta Cannengaser in Vienna, Austria in 1886. And she immigrated to the US and established her fashion business in New York in 1919. Then she adopted the name Carnegie as a nod to industrialist Andrew Carnegie, symbolizing ambition and luxury. She initially focused on clothing, and then in 1939, she expanded into accessories and jewelry. She was known for bringing European couture-inspired designs to American consumers. So some of the key styles she used was Art Deco-inspired geometric pieces in the 1930s, mid-century glamour with floral motifs and faux gemstones, and bold statement jewelry in the 40s and 50s, and versatile costume jewelry for the everyday woman and Hollywood elite alike. She definitely catered to Hollywood because these are not everybody could afford the expensive pearls and diamonds and emeralds, so she catered to the average woman using unique designs, often inspired by nature, fashion trends, and again, the Hollywood glamour. Some of the collections that she created was Greek inspired, and you'll see several pieces here. She also did Oriental figures. She did quite a bit of that, like animals and fish, and incorporating plastic, colorful inserts. And she also did traditional inspired pieces like we all see a little bit more commonly. And she also did figural pieces, here again, like the animals and fish. And then the materials she used was rhinestones and interesting art glass, often used in intricate, eye-catching designs, rhinestone encrusted brooches with layers like on the bottom right here. And you can see it from the side. It has this somewhat dome shape and layers, and it's not flat. And faux pearl and gemstone necklaces, high quality imitations to emulate luxury. And then she also, I wanted to point out, you'll see this piece right here has the cupcake settings in it. So it was not only used by Schreiner and some of the other designers of that time. Some people call it pie crust. She did enamel designs like with vibrant colors or playful or artistic flair, sophistication blended with whimsy. Enameled animal brooches are particularly iconic. And some metals, she used gold-plated and base metals, shaped into elegant and whimsical forms. She did smooth back gold or silver tone metals, like you'll see on the left here, and that was mostly in the 50s and 60s. And then in the 60s and into the 70s, the pieces would probably have textured backs like you see here on the right. This is one unique feature for her is Dynel fiber, they call this, and you can use this in the title because there is collectors that look for that. and it's kind of like a tassel. And you think over time these would get dirty, but there's still a lot for sale and intact and vibrant colored, so keep an eye out for them. And she also used joint and catch pin back with a spinning C clasp, which is like a safety catch. I cannot find a picture of this to show you, so I just thought I'd throw it out there. If you find an interesting spinning C clasp, it's most likely Hattie. And while competitors like Miriam Haskell emphasize intricate beading, Carnegie designs often centered on bold, elegant statement pieces with a more modern sensibility. The jewelry marks she used included, like, the first mark here in the 1940s and 50s. She used this diamond shape with a HC in the middle, and you hardly ever see this mark, but if you run across it now, you'll know. And she also did Hattie Carnegie in script and block letters on a cartouche. And sometimes Carnegie was accompanied by a copyright symbol, and sometimes on an oval hang tag, sometimes like this one up here, or a rectangle shaped hang tag. Probably in the 70s is what they said the oval ones were were from. And signatures can be stamped in metal or on a cartouche and occasionally part of a mold. So you're going to get a full range of different varieties. Like this one's stamped into the metal, and these are on a cartouche that's added to the piece of jewelry. This one right here, um, it's it's considered plated heavy silver deposit, I think is what that stands for. Plated heavy silver deposit. I have never seen one of these. It was hard to find this one, but that is out there as well, and it is a real Hattie. And early pieces may not be signed, making identification based on design and craftsmanship crucial. That's the extent of my Hattie Carnegie slideshow. She died in 1956, but her jewelry remains a sought-after collectible representing an era of elegance and innovative design. And her production under Hattie Carnegie brand largely stopped in the late 1870s as the company's influence and market presence waned. The craftsmanship was known for meticulous detailing and exceptional quality in costume jewelry, and her pieces continued to captivate collectors and fashion enthusiasts for their blend of luxury, whimsy, and quality. And here's a closing thought. Fashion fades, but style endures, and Hattie Carnegie's legacy is proof of that enduring truth.
Did you say 1870s? That's not right, right?
Say that again?
Did you say 1870s? I think you meant, I'm assuming 1970s.
1970s. I don't know what I said, but it's 1970s.
Yeah, and there's also, so I have a question for you, and you might have ran across this because I've had earrings that just say Carnegie on them, and they're not in the same style of the Hattie Carnegie signature. And I've been told that's a whole other company. Is that right? That's not associated
I
with Hattie Carnegie.
I have not run across that, but I've run across where they say on earrings you'll find less of a signature. Like you'll see the Carnegie or the HC. They use that on smaller pieces, so that was
Maybe the HC,
common.
the Carnegie one, I heard that because I've had earrings and they're all way more plain than regular Hattie Carnegie stuff that just say Carnegie on the back of the earrings. And when I had those, I researched it and I was told that those aren't Hattie Carnegies, they're a different company. But I wasn't sure about that because I was just going
Well,
off what people.
I can't be certain about that either, but let me share my screen
Because that was
again.
confusing to me. And they didn't feel like quality like Hattie Carnegie stuff does. I mean, they felt cheap.
So these say Carnegie, and they look like this. Was it something similar to that?
No, and you'll find them on eBay. There's a bunch of them. They just say well, yeah, they're probably they weren't similar style, but the signature. was was the same, I think, or close. And I couldn't find any on any of the databases of Hattie Carnegie that just said Carnegie on the back. I don't think mine were written
Mm,
as fancy either. I think mine just said Carnegie and
She
they were all like uppercase letters. I
she
was
did do
confused by that.
traditional designs to, sell to the major public.
So
So
I just listed him as Carnegie. I did not put Hattie Carnegie in it because I was not sure. I couldn't trace him back
that's
to Hattie
something
Carnegie for
interesting
sure.
I'll have to look into a little further, but I don't
I
know that
wasn't
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah, it's confusing when they do that to us. And I'm gonna pull up some examples of Hattie Carnegie stuff. They vary a lot. I feel like there's certain iconic things that like exactly what Lynn talked about, along those lines that bring good money with Hattie Carnegie stuff, but a lot of the old elegant stuff or just old plain where once upon a time it was probably, very in style, very sought after. I feel like even since I started selling jewelry, the stuff has shifted in price wise with Hattie Carnegie. The I used to think of like pearls and well constructed metal with pearls and just that old style is kind of what I always thought of with Hattie Carnegie, and that's the stuff that was bringing money. And now I feel like it's the enamels and those flowers, and those are bringing better money, and the figurals. So I feel like the old elegance of it just isn't doing very well money wise right now. And I've noticed that. Yeah, Meg said she noticed too. Because
I
you
have
could pay up.
two. I have a Carnegie necklace that's been sitting for a while, and I keep lowering the price and lowering the price, and it's still not selling, and it's
Mm.
beautiful. And I had to have it repaired, so I paid a little more to have it repaired, but it's still not low enough.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a huge shift in that with there's also an issue with the fact that there's zero possibility I'm buying any unsigned Hattie Carnegie anymore. Because I'll show you the ones that I've seen repeatedly listed on eBay and Etsy and everything where you can buy quantities. We've talked about that before. If I can pick a quantity of, it's probably not vintage and authentic, and you can buy the exact same ones on Temu and Alibaba. So is there a legitimate one that looks exactly like that that's worth good money? Absolutely. Is it super hard to tell anymore? Absolutely. I'm not buying the unsigned ones or paying up for them anyway. And then even if I get the unsigned one and I pay $5 for it, do I put it on eBay and then all of a sudden they do a sweep of the fakes and I'm caught in it? I'm not. So there's a whole set of them, like the unicorn and the elephant and ones that I'll show you that I see where you could buy them, in bulk. So personally, I would stay away from those. The same thing happened with the Leah Stein stuff like last year. Um, People were listing these, they bought them on Temu. They were not even representing them as vintage, but they looked exactly like the Leah Stein pins. Well, what they did is they did a AI sweep, and if they looked like it was, they were saying they were counterfeit, even though they weren't claiming to be Leah Stein because they were copying her design. So we get into such muddled, so I don't do that anymore. I won't do that either. So I'll show you the ones that you can buy in bulk, and personally, stay away from those
And
unless you're sure.
Carrie and Lynn,
Mhm.
what would you say is the hottest style right now for vintage jewelry?
Brand or style?
No, style, because one of you said that kind of old classy look isn't really in right
That's
now.
for Hattie Carnegie
Right. But
specifically. Yeah.
is there a style that
I
you would say is kind of hot right now?
Well, I would say, like, I just sold about 9 West Germany pieces, and I feel like
So good.
the West Germany plastic necklaces are coming back up. They were going down, just like the Hong Kong and Japan necklaces are going down, but for some reason, the West Germany ones, they're coming, they're buying them up. Like she almost cleaned out my store of West Germany earrings and the cameo earrings, the cameo style, the gold filigree, that type of thing.
Yeah, those are really popular right now. Those and enamels. Enamels are pretty good right now. Even a boring enamel flower, if it's in good condition, is worth more now than it was a year ago. I do okay. I do pretty
Also,
good
have been
with enamel
selling
flower.
linked necklaces, linked vintage necklaces from the 50s and 60s. A lady came in and bought like 25 different pieces, and a majority of them were the linked necklaces, and some have rhinestones on them, some have pearls, some have enamel on them. So it's a wide variety, but
Is that
that's what
specific
I've
to
been
that
selling a
buyer
lot of.
for some reason, or do you think it's across the board with multiple? I don't
I
really,
think
I
it's,
don't move those very well.
I have a
I don't
West
know,
Germany necklace that is broken, but I have the matching earrings and I could possibly restrand it. Would you take the time to do that or just sell the earrings?
I would sell it with the necklace broken.
There's like beads everywhere. It's like string
Oh, it's not
beads.
like just a little break. It's yeah.
I have a
I
I
don't
question.
even know
probably
if I
would
have
throw it
all
in
the
my scrap.
beads. Huh? What's that?
I would throw it in my scrap and sell the earrings.
Me too.
That's what I was gonna do.
But what I've been doing is if I have a really pretty necklace with nice glass beads and it's broken or it needs a
Saving the
new
beads.
clasp on it, yeah, beads, I would throw them all together in like a nice art glass lot because there's
Ah,
people that look just for that.
yeah. Why
I have
save
a
them? Like
question.
if I go ahead.
Yeah.
So I know absolutely zero about jewelry. So are you guys discussing costume jewelry, or is this like
Yep. For the most
it is
part, I mean,
okay.
for the most part, we do costume. Yep.
All right, because I noticed on Facebook in my local area, they've made up jars of mystery jewelry for $5 a jar, and I'd considering getting them, but like I said, I don't know anything about jewelry,
Jars
and I
can be
didn't.
good learning experiences. And they can also be good experiences in how to sell junk lots. You know, you just never know. But most of the time, you're going to get jars from people like me or Lynn, and they're just our leftovers, you know, stuff we don't want.
Right. Neither one of you
Yeah,
are in Indiana, are you?
Nope.
majority of them jars are plastic beads and they're not worth anything.
Okay.
Very much.
But it would be a good thing to learn from.
Say no.
Sometimes they are, and I've had good ones at like the antique malls and stuff. Sometimes you, but I buy them from booths that aren't selling jewelry. Those sometimes are
Gotcha.
okay. Yeah. So yep, you just got to try. Um,
Okay.
so like these that are, they all kind of look the same, but like you can buy these by like the 20s, right? Like I mean, this to me is probably not an authentic. It doesn't look age appropriate. It doesn't. It could be, but these you see a lot, and I don't think other people think they're age appropriate either because this is about the price point those are going for. Um, and there's a bunch of them. You'll see the unicorn. I've seen it a million times. This little lobster, unsigned Hattie Carnegie, unsigned Hattie Carnegie, unsigned. They all you can buy them in different colors on the Alibaba type sites. So this one right here, this Pegasus horse, if you have the real one, it's worth good money. But I think sometimes maybe people do have this is new. You can tell right off the bat.
Yeah, I
That is
showed
a-
you that one like 2 weeks ago. Remember?
Yep. Oh yeah.
When-
I think Meg asked me about that one. I'm like,
Yeah.
nope, you can buy them by the 15, 20 packs. You know, the real one is worth good money, but it's not. So
Are people buying them at that price? Are people being fooled?
yeah, well, I don't know if they're fooled or not, but they're buying them at the 14 to 15, 20, dollar range because they don't know better, and
That
I
other
wouldn't have
one
known better
was
either.
$35 for the sold price.
Yep, they are. So just watch it, make sure that we're paying attention. They're mostly the thermoplastic ones. I have more mixed in here as I show you, but just I see them all the time. And if you go on Poshmark right now or you go on Macari right now, you'll see a million of them too. And it's the ones you see over and over and over that are going for 15 to 30 bucks. You can buy them on Temu, but you can tell by the backs that they're not authentic. I mean, you can tell they're new. So we'll see more of them as we go, but just be really careful of those. And I wouldn't even buy the authentic one because people are leery of them. Real collectors are leery of them right now. So we have the Christmas tree. Some of the Christmas tree brooches for Hattie Carnegie are really good and some aren't. But yet I can't tell you what the difference is. And I looked. It might just be the fact of who's wanting it at the right time with the pricing. These go from anywhere from $60 to about $125, $135. This one brought $140. This is probably the higher end of the market with the Christmas trees. I think I saw one other one that was like 200. So, there are quite a bit of the beads of Hattie Carnegie that still are holding decent value. This is a whole set for $100. You know, that's not great since you have the whole set. However, her multi-strand beads that are colorful, are still doing pretty good. So don't discount them just because these are the plastic beads. Because I agree in general.
Those look like glass.
I don't know if they are or not, but lots of her stuff she had a lot of acrylic
Was
stuff
that-
there for like.
Was that
This
set
one might be
signed?
glass.
Yeah, I was just gonna
It
ask.
says glass.
But she
It
does
said
have a lot of
glass and
acrylic
item
beads.
specifics.
Oh,
She
she
has a
does?
lot of she does have a lot of acrylic stuff. And I think that was her later stuff. The acrylic beaded stuff seemed to be like 70s era, but just don't
Is
discount 'em.
that signed? Is that per signed, Carrie?
Yep, it is.
Okay.
See, that set goes together and she has just Carnegie on the earrings.
But see, mine didn't have the fancy writing. So it just said Carnegie, but it was in plain
Block.
yes. And there's quite a few of them on eBay like that. So it wasn't the fancy like that. I would not hesitate to say Hattie Carnegie, right? Because it's in the right script.
But she did block and script as well.
So it could be. I think I just didn't want to misrepresent it. And I still priced it accordingly. So it was fine. And they were ugly and plain. So they weren't fancy. I wasn't gonna spend a whole bunch of time into it. I just was leery of I didn't know any better. These koi fish, I see a lot of those also. If you're scrolling down and it's supposed to be rare and signed, and you're seeing multiples in different colors, and they're readily available all the time at a low price, that's when we need to go, I wonder if these are available on Temu. This is a milk glass Buddha. I think Lynn showed that she had a Buddha face. And lots of times they're jade or they're glass. That one, the back looks appropriate. The cartouche looks right. So that one sold for 200. But you don't see them by the dozens on eBay either. So the little bugs. So bugs in general sell really well anymore. I mean, like I have good luck with bugs. But the trembler bugs and the regular bugs for hers, they were all in the like $20, $25 range. Some of them hit 30. So not amazing. I actually would have thought those were more. That's actually got nice coloring and stuff. Bad pictures, but nice coloring.
Did you notice that one did not have a price on it?
I was just thinking that. I was looking for the
Yeah.
price.
eBay has been glitchy today. It had a price on it a little bit ago. It's been
Okay.
super glitchy. I don't know if you guys have noticed today, but I've had eBay issues today. eBay's been in and out for me. You can find these type of earrings still around. And there's the Carnegie and the script again on the back. But these are just nice glass cabochon earrings. But $60 is a pretty solid price on a pair of clip-ons, regardless, a lot of the time. So here, I think that these are, these are glass too. Yeah, these are glass. So this is a nice set. Nice. Probably could have got more for it if you would have separated them. If these brought $60, you could probably get at least 100 out of that necklace. Just saying, because I'm a set wrecker.
So then what would you sell the earrings for by themselves, Carrie?
60. I'd ask 60 for that, and I'd ask what, like 120 for the necklace, and hope. It's a nice, because not just Hattie Carnegie collectors are going to go after necklaces like that. People that love glass bead necklaces, might buy it too. Yep.
I like the shades. of gray.
In the title, just note, any characters like that and symbol screws up the search algorithm, and this is all one word to eBay right now. Necklace and earrings, that's going to be one search word because there's no spaces or anything. So that's just note that screws with it.
But the and symbol won't come up in search by itself as and?
I can't remember if it's so we're not supposed to use any characters at all.
I
eBay
didn't realize
doesn't.
that was a character. I thought that was a just and, like VTG for vintage and ampersand for and.
I've been told it screws with it because it doesn't necessarily pick it up.
Really?
I don't use any characters. Do you use characters, Lynn? I don't use characters.
Is that with
No,
all
don't be-
categories?
Yep.
Yes.
That makes
Thing
sense. I
I-
look for a Goodfellow and Company every now and then in clothes, and I get all kinds of weird stuff.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't use
and
characters.
Whiting
Whiting
Davis
and
is
Davis?
another one. I hesitate, and then sometimes I just put Whiting Davis.
I do
don't even
too,
put an
and it works
and.
fine. Me
Really?
too. Yep, me too.
Because
I've been doing that.
3 and the and sign takes up 1, and I'm always trying to maximize my characters.
And I even had to take the apostrophe out of women's and men's, and that killed me because I'm an English teacher.
Yep.
I hate it every time, and the little red line
But
goes under
women's-
it, and I'm like,
women's
I
and
know
men's-
it's wrong.
We just need women and men's. We don't need women's at all. It's just women and men's.
But then
Um,
it's grammatically incorrect as well.
well, eBay isn't perfect. We know that for sure. So,
For
but yeah,
sure.
apostrophes are a no go on eBay. No
I
apostrophes.
can't do 2 errors at once deliberately. One,
But I am with Lynn on the Whiting and Davis. I've gone to Whiting Davis, and it works fine because the and symbol messes it up. So
I didn't know
Now,
that.
do you make that one word or do you put a space in between it?
it'd be a
Space.
space. I do space. Yep.
Okay.
And drop the ampersand?
Nope. Yep. None
Leave-
of that.
You drop the ampersand, or do you include the word and, or do you just leave it blank?
Whiting and
I
Davis
dropped it.
anymore. I've gone to Whiting Davis.
Thank you.
Works really well because the and
Like
sign,
this-
I think.
Like this one says necklace and earring set. There's no reason that and needs to even be in there.
I don't ever put and. Nope, I put for one, everybody knows I've gone to super short titles, but I do the set, so I'll put necklace earring set. There's no
Right.
need for the and. Nope. Totally agree with you. I don't know that I agree that this is Grappoy glass. I wonder if they
It's
meant
not.
give gray glass. I see some you could maybe say are give gray glass, but see those like ones in the middle, maybe, but not Grappoy.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's why I said maybe, but not Grappoy. Definitely not Grappoy glass. This to me is when I was first learning about jewelry and first selling jewelry. This is an iconic type of look to me for Hattie Carnegie, and our pictures are amazing, guys. Look at. I'm sorry if these are your pictures, but we need to. Everybody, all of us that worry about slight shadows and stuff, and then we go look at other pictures, and I'm like, this is terrible. This to me is more of like an iconic look for Hattie Carnegie. Something I noticed, and I try to look at like what I would do differently in the listing just to try to give you guys ideas. So I don't know about you, but like that's almost, I mean, those are nice little enamelings. Could maybe even stretch that into a gouache depending on, I can't really see it in person, but to me, this is more of what her style was to begin with. And they just aren't bringing very good money. There's another bug for $15. I don't really get it.
Movable, and it's got movable wings.
That's
well,
crazy.
I don't
Those
think
are
it does.
cool.
So it says
Then
it's
they
a
should
movable
call it
wing.
a trembler.
That's
Shoot a
right.
video.
We don't put movable wings in jewelry. We would put a trembler, but the trembler with the word trembler didn't bring very much money anyway. But if you look at this, I don't think it is a trembler. That's all one piece.
Or
I think they-
articulating.
Why would they put that in the title then?
Because they copied somebody else's listing.
Yeah.
But if it's a trembler in jewelry, if something moves in jewelry, because like a flower or a wing, it's a trembler. Not
Well,
articulating.
it's hinged. It
That's what I
could
was
be
gonna say.
articulated. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
it's hinged. But if it's got a spring at all,
Mm.
When I first started, I was like, this is, I thought like when I approached, I had it was like loose, and I was like, oh, this must be the movable.
yep,
No.
nope, it's yep, I totally agree with that. The trembler is if it's like a springy type thing, and the other it's got to be on a hinge to be articulating. Actually, hey, just sold a articulating Hattie Carnegie necklace last week. Same way with Lynn though, I had to like lower the price like a million times, and I will not buy it again. Here's a Egyptian Revival scarab pendant brooch. Her scarab stuff does really well with acrylics. But I don't know that I would like, I don't know enough about this particular to think that to not be sure on that kind of price if this is new or not. I wouldn't be sure on that. I don't know
Didn't
enough
she do
on that.
smooth backs? That doesn't look smooth.
Well, she did
know,
smooth backs in the 50s and 60s, but the 70s she started using the
Oh, she did. Okay.
textured.
I missed that.
Yep. And she had different kinds of texture too, which makes it hard to tell. Like maybe you know, an enthusiast that knows her stuff might be able to tell, like, okay, that's the real one. That one would make me a little nervous, but somebody must have thought it was worth $399. But always remember, we don't know if it got returned either. So just I'm careful on these things. This one looks also like something you'll see a lot with those glass, those are probably glass stones. There's hair all over it. Pick your hair out, people. Pick your hair out.
Always call
Ugh.
it bonus hair.
Them
No,
look like I would call them gumdrops. Gumdrops.
yeah, those are cool because they're nice and smooth and
And they're cabochons.
so that one I would think probably would have brought more on a good buy it now price. This one I've never seen a chain bracelet or necklace, I guess. I don't think I had Hattie Carnegie, so this one was just different. They took it off around 24 bucks, 25 bucks, so that's not amazing, but I'd never seen one before, so it must be out there, but I don't get a whole lot of Hattie Carnegie stuff. Here, I think this is a really pretty necklace. Brought a decent price. It's all rhinestone. It's even got a little bit of discoloration, but it's probably age appropriate discoloration.
But for $110 for clear rhinestones, that's a little unusual, and the only reason is because it has Hattie Carnegie on it.
Yep. For sure. Well, and there's not a whole ton of just plain rhinestone stuff out there with Hattie Carnegie, so a collector probably wanted it. This is gorgeous.
That's
I think
cool. Yeah.
very gorgeous, very nice. Just full of those AB stones. I haven't seen one quite like this either, but it doesn't shock me that it sold for that much. Very nice necklace.
Beautiful.
Yeah, some of them shocked me, but that one didn't. That's just a basic mesh waterfall one. Probably brought $60 because it was Hattie Carnegie. We only get one picture though, so I can't tell you how I feel about the back.
I've had several different waterfall pieces where they have a little rhinestone on the ends of the tassels, and they weren't marked. And I question them now if they were possibly unsigned Hattie Carnegie because they sold fast.
What do you consider
Yeah.
waterfall? When do you use that keyword when something is like protruding out
Like
of
this, it's going out and falling down.
cascading?
Yeah, or cascading. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
We have to think
A
about
lot
like
of
what are
times
people typing when they're looking for it.
it's like the ones I've seen, they come from the back and come forward and kind of drape down. That's kind of what I think of when I think of waterfall.
Yeah, I think
I
they did
mean,
what
this is
waterfall
still,
or dangle too for like the less collector people.
Yeah, because
yeah.
that's a lot of the people that are buying our stuff, right? So that's why I've gone to the shorter titles too, is I try to think if I'm looking for this item, what am I as a layman typing in? Now, if I'm going to sell something at $600-700 or $400, $500, well, who's buying that? Not just somebody scrolling looking for jewelry, right? A collector is. So then I could see using fancier terms and more technical terms because a technical person is buying your item. We just have to think about who your customer is. And some of these people have customers that are nothing but high-end customers. So maybe that's why they're focusing at. I've seen a lot of these elephants. And I guarantee you some of them are on Temu. I would think that one might have been too.
That looks so fake.
So not picking those up. Somebody that knows more about them than me can trust them because I don't. I didn't look to see. So they must have done a collaboration because
Oh yeah. They
that says
did
Marcel.
and KJL, she also did a collab with. Yeah, I can't talk today.
I've had one of
Collab
those.
with.
I didn't know about the Boucher one. So this is a Boucher Hattie Carnegie Dragon, which is pretty cool. So you could get both markets on that one. So that's pretty neat. It was signed Marcel and then Carnegie. This is just a real basic rhinestone piece, but it is signed. Hattie Carnegie. And it's not even in good shape, so. But a collector must have wanted it, probably. Here's a cool bird. I like it. I do like her figurals. This one's not one I see all over. I don't know that they're mass producing this one yet, maybe, but I haven't seen it. And the back looks age appropriate. I mean, the texturing that is there looks not as much Temu-ish as the other ones. But I like that one. Little bird. This one was cool too. Again, we have the beaded choker necklace. Doesn't look like anything too special. You know, Vendome will surprise me with necklaces like this too. Once in a while, you'll get a necklace like this that's Vendome that's just, you know, you can get $125 for. So don't discount some of those just because you just see a beaded necklace, because some of them do really well. So this one, just a plain ribbon brooch. This one's one I probably would have discounted and not thought it was worth much, but $90. You know, I could see us seeing those on a table for $5 somewhere for somebody that doesn't know. Here's another elephant, and they're hard to find and rare. So again, don't pick those that look like that on the backup. Just my opinion.
Looks kind of cute on the front, so you're like, hey.
They are. So if you just
That-
want a cute elephant one, great,
Yeah.
buy it. But
That pin, the pin looked older though.
looks just
I
like
know
the
you
ones
said
they're
there's-
on the Temu
Looks
ones.
just like my fake Pegasus.
Yep, that's what they look like. They're putting the V ones from like the, you know, Western Germany use the V backs on them all. They're putting those on them, and they use the old brass tone, so they look older. And they're putting the V backs on things.
Is that one signed?
Nope.
No,
Because it's
it's
fake.
rare and unsigned. All it
It's
is.
fake. And there are rare and unsigned pieces, but
I-
this is not one of them. That's why we can't. I don't like that either, because they're sticking pins on there. That if you go and look on the Alibaba site and stuff, they're sticking these pins on them, and it makes you question it. But that finish is not old.
They hardly ever show the back on them on AliExpress.
Probably why.
Well, if you get a few and if you actually feel and touch them, you can tell they're just total crap. This one comes with a gift box too. That's not Hattie Carnegie, so I'm not sure about this one. You'd have to use your own judgment. I've seen a lot of those mermaids. I'm not sure. Just staying away from those altogether because I have no idea.
How are they authenticating it if it's unsigned?
What do you mean? I mean, I sell unsigned things that so there's a difference between authenticating and attributing. Do you mean you mean attributing?
Well, just because you always make a point of saying, like, if you don't know for sure, and I'm the same way, if I don't know 100% sure that it's by this designer, I'm not going to label it if it's not signed.
So we can tell people that that's the correct way to do it, but people will do what they want to do. Just like you'll see people that'll have 3 different makers in the title. Well, it can't be all 3. You know, they're guessing and they're keyword spamming. So, and nobody's authenticating these, so they can do what they want, and that's why buyers have to be careful. This also is a policy violation, even though I see that it's probably a little old lady that like wrote a little note to go with it. We cannot have written things in our listings. This is a big no-no. Don't do it. And I
It's a
realize she's
shame
not
that-
doing anything wrong, but eBay doesn't say you can't do it if it does this. It just says you can't do it. Just don't do it.
So they
And
will
the
they
photo.
purposely hide that listing from search?
People have gotten violations on it. So you
Okay.
can only get so many violations, and that's, you know, and this is like a total, eBay doesn't have a department that says, but this is some little old lady that was just trying to
Right.
help her listing. They don't, that's the bad thing. They're very black and white with policy violations. There's people that I know have gotten hit with tons of policy violations, and they weren't doing anything maliciously, intently being wrong. They were just, they thought they were doing correct, and they weren't. And they don't have, there's no hand holding space, I guess I should say, for them to say, hey, we get that you were trying to be good. And yeah, there's just not. I was trying to find this other one that we passed. It also had a policy violation. It had a watermark in the picture. That's also a no-no. No watermarks allowed on eBay. Do people do it all the time? Sure they do. Is it a policy violation? Yep, sure is. And we all know, like, it's sometimes it's a small little sellers too, they get hit with those. It says it's signed.
Carrie, could you talk a little bit about the riveted feature? Is that indicative of a particular era?
Better
Yes.
What? And it means, well, to me, it means a little bit higher quality a lot of times, don't you think, Lynn, when you see the riveting?
Yeah, you see it mostly 50s and 60s.
I've got a couple of pieces I'd love to ask you guys later about that have rivets like that.
Yeah, for sure. I don't see the signature on this. I think they're lying. I don't see it.
You don't either.
This is cool. This is a pretty nice piece. And that store does really well too. And the back looks right. Everything looks good with it. I thought this one was neat. This too is kind of she had an era or a time period where a lot of her stuff reminded me of Austria flowers. She did a lot of the little Austria type of enamel flowers that I thought were
That
really
makes sense because she was born in Austria, right?
Yeah.
so
And it
that-
was probably like the 40s. But then again,
Mhm.
that just had texture on the back. So that's maybe a replica of her past, being in Austria. So I'd say that's, well, then it had
I don't think that
screwbacks.
I don't think that all of her early stuff was smooth. I think there was some texturing earlier than the
Well,
60s.
obviously on that one, because it
Had
was showing
screwback earrings.
screwbacks.
Yeah, I don't think they're all. I think it's good to have markers, for you to say, hey, like lots of them were like this. Yep, but I don't know that they all were. This is cool because I like sheep, and there's a bunch of these, and they all seem to go high dollar. There's a lot of them listed for $600-700.
Oh.
Guarantee you, there's probably some knockoffs of those too, but these are neat. There's a bracelet that looks like that, and I think there's a necklace. There's an enamel flower. Her enamel flowers are pretty strong priced. They do pretty well if they're in good condition. There's the signature on the back.
Wow.
So on this end of the spectrum over here are some of the higher end stuff. Not the highest, but some of the higher end stuff for us to look for. And I saw Lynn had the matching, I want to say necklace in her pictures that reminded me of those earrings. So these are just, you could find these at a sale and, miss them. And if you can pick them up for, decent price, they would be worth picking up and somebody could miss those. They don't like scream expensive. Some of the, like this one, this is like the large, it looks like a Maltese cross. Also, it's pretty good size, but it's pretty cool. I like that one. Maltese crosses are pretty good.
That one seemed to come up in the feed quite a bit.
Yeah, and if you look at the backs, I don't know, like who am I to say, but boy, that finish looks
Newer.
newer.
Where would
But
you
it's
say would be
fine.
the best place to actually get jewelry like this? I mean,
Well, when you find out, Thomas, you let us know because we don't know.
well, I was wondering, like, probably garage sales would be the best because it would most likely be like little old ladies and stuff
Little old
selling their
ladies.
products.
If I hit a honey hole, an amazing hit, it's usually a garage sale because it's somebody's grandma's collection they dumped on a table.
Yeah.
That's not
And
how
when I
I
say
see 'em.
little old ladies, I'm talking 70, 80, 60, 70,
You don't
80.
hit honey hole garage sales, Lynn?
Oh
I'm a
no,
little
I
old
have
man.
never lucked out and had a great sale like that at
Do
a
you
at
go
a
to a lot
yard
of them?
sale.
I
No.
mean, do you hit a lot of garage
Oh
sales?
yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I stay away from the rich, like the suburbs. I stay away from those and try to hit the little old communities. I have a lot better luck in the older little communities than I do the big suburbs because I feel like I don't get the older people as much. But
Retirement
Right.
homes, retirement communities.
Yeah.
Senior
Well, one
center
time I did go to
rummage sale. That was jackpot.
right. I went to a yard sale that was in another state when we were on vacation, and they had it was like a retirement home yard sale, and I thought, we've got to stop. I had like people with me, and I'm like, please, please stop. I went and I bought all of their jewelry because it was all from these old people in this retirement home. That was the best one, but
And it's like
not
anything
usually.
else, you know.
Usually it's usually kids' clothes and kids' toys. That's what I see at every yard sale.
I would say that yard sales are ones that if you're not going to a crap ton of them and trying to find those ones that aren't kids' clothes and toys, because that's the majority of them. I mean, I can have, you know, the community sales, I can have 75 of them, and there might be 3 that have decent jewelry, maybe. And they're, you know, and no honey holes, you know, I might not find one at all. It's just the more you go to, the better luck you have. But it's a grind for sure, because most of them are young people. No doubt about that. The church rummage sales lots of times have older jewelry at it and do well. But it's just the more you go to, the luckier you get type of thing. But I've gone all day and not found one with decent jewelry. This lady needs our group. We could help her. Nice necklace though.
Yeah, she sold it for 300.
Mm-hmm. So since we're right at our hour,
You
I
didn't even
will.
spell Carnegie right.
I noticed that. That's why I said she needs our help. I can't say anything about that, but you know, like I've had horribly like titles that weren't even belonging to that item before, where I'm like, what was happening there?
And you need Catherine to review your pieces, your titles.
No, I don't. I'm good. If you are blessed with as many store stalkers as I have, they will point it out that I've made an error before I think it's live. I will get a message from one of them correcting me. Like, well, thank you very much for. Just like sometimes I'm like, I'm silently thanking you in a different way. Some of them mean well, and some of them don't mean well. Did anybody have any awesome jewelry sales this week? Did anybody have any amazing home runs in jewelry, or find some really cool stuff, or sell some fun stuff? I didn't
I'm
have any.
going to share my Hattie Carnegie necklace and see what price you think I should
Sure.
have on it. Well, here, I'm just putting it in the chat for you.
No problem. Oh, it's pretty. I don't think you're that far off.
That is pretty.
Maybe closer to like, I think if you like hand it to me today, I'd put it for $89.99. But I mean, it's not like a super low priced one or anything. It's got the blue in it. People love blue.
It probably
Here's a good.
needs to be dropped even more.
I'll tell you what you told me, and it helped put it at $99.99.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think
Well, I
you'd
have
be
it
that
at
out of line
30.
on that either.
Do what?
I said I don't think you'd be that out of line at $99.99 either. I think
Yeah,
that's
you
probably.
can't go under that limit when you like sort by price. So
Yep. I think that's probably closer. But it's a nice necklace. I had decent sales, but this was my highest dollar one in general. Then it had some cruddy stuff in it. I took an offer for 300 on that. I only had like 4 something into it, so it was no big deal, and it wasn't perfect. It had some cruddy stuff on it, but it went to a collector that buys Trifari stuff from me. This was a bigger one than the normal crowns I get, so, but that was fairly in line. And then I sold this morning. I just like the color. I thought this was a pretty color.
It is pretty.
And I almost split it, but I didn't. I kept it together. So I wasn't sure the earrings would pull their weight, so.
I was just gonna say you're breaking your own rule.
Oh, I don't have a rule about it. I have a rule if I can make more money. And
Yeah.
I don't think the earrings would have gotten a lot of extra money. They weren't fancy, they were pretty plain. But they complemented that brooch. So Larry.
Have
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got, if I could take the floor for a few minutes and ask you guys input. Let me share my screen. Um, uh, there we go. Can you guys see a box that says end of trail?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so I picked this up. I don't know what this 360 was, but it's Indian looking jewelry. It's sterling 20. I don't know. It's silver. It tests positive silver. I don't know if it's sterling or not. It is missing a stone. The stones do appear to be turquoise to me, just because of the impurities and the age and the patina. This feels right to be, silver Indian jewelry with turquoise as the stones. Um, how would you guys handle this piece, given that it's missing one? Would you call it Indian? Are there American Indian police on eBay?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Big
there
time.
are.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of figured there would be. So how would you guys handle this piece?
Lynn
Southwestern.
knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a Southwestern set of earrings, not a because if we can only, for anybody that doesn't know, we can only, you have to be able to attribute it to a tribe and be correct to list it as Native American on eBay, or the Native American police will come get you.
Okay. Would you call it turquoise?
I wouldn't,
Even
but
though
It really does look like turquoise, but
like I said, I've been
um,
scarred from
the only
turquoise.
thing
So
I can confirm is
careful.
that it is silver and it came in a box that said American, whatever it said. But I mean,
You said you don't know if it's sterling though, so it's not Mark Sterling?
it's not marked sterling, but it tests positive with my acid
are,
test. It comes up red.
are they magnetic?
No.
I would say it's from the Indian Arts
I've
Festival. It was on the box.
I would too. I was thinking that. And um, what else was I going to say? I think I would put turquoise on it because more than likely it is because it came from there.
Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Right. Yeah, in New Mexico, it just feels right. But
Mhm.
what about
There's a
the
lot.
missing?
Wasn't your fake jewelry stuff you were doing out of a garage out of the correct place also?
Yes, and we could
Okay.
print boxes all day long if we wanted to too.
But I would put
Right.
Indian, maybe
Right.
that might attract the police kind of thing, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
But
So there is a ton of fake silver turquoise looking jewelry coming out of New Mexico. I just want to put that out there, a ton of it. And some of it
yeah,
is stamped and it's a lie. So
yeah,
Did
and
you,
at a
Larry,
garage in Phoenix too.
correct.
did
I'm
you
sorry,
look
Lance.
this place up or maybe even call the number and say, is this a piece from
Yeah,
you
that's a good.
guys? Or
I got the phone number here. I don't know if they're still in business or not, but how would you handle it? What would you price this, assuming that you know well, what would you price this at?
well, since they're earrings and it's missing the rhinestone, they're probably not going to wear them unless they have it repaired, and that's going to cost them money. So that really lowers it.
Yeah, I know. So like $19 or $49, or what kind of ballpark am I in here?
Definitely 19, 29. I think 29's
Pushing it?
like my max.
Yeah, no, I want to move it because I've got way too much jewelry sitting around. Um, okay, cool. So there's a couple others here. I don't
Oh,
know
is that
what in
a
the world.
Florenza?
Say what?
Is that a Florenza? It looks very
I
Florenza-ish,
think that's too.
Mhm.
What was the name again?
Lorenza.
but it would be
The
signed
back
if it was.
doesn't look like the back doesn't
The
look
back
like
doesn't.
Florenza though.
Never mind.
It does
Yep.
have the rivet though that's connecting this
Yeah,
pin assembly
Everything
is
looks so
riveted
janky, though.
onto.
it looks janky. I agree.
Yeah,
Oh,
So
thingy.
and the stone looks like molded plastic.
Right.
that's because it is, but lots of them have that.
So is this
Looks like a remake in the 70s or 80s, possibly.
throw this in a lot as just
They're probably selling its own, but I just be careful that it's not. So the backs of those Timu ones I was telling Lynn about that's got the V or whatever, they throw a rivet in for good measure. So can't. So you can go, I don't know. I would look that up, Larry, and see if you find a lot of them.
Okay. And so this would be like a $14 one, or throw it in a lot. This low end.
Yes,
I
it is
would
low end.
say, yeah, $14.99, $16.99.
A lot of
Take
it.
Yeah, and again, what
12.
I'm looking for is you guys to say, "Oh, that's a $200 piece." That I can handle the low end cheap stuff, I think, but I got a few more here. This guy is really pretty. I like this one. Unfortunately, it's
Is that
not fine.
sterling?
No, it's iron. It appears to be gold plated, but it's ferrous. It sticks to a magnet.
Does it
But
say
again, this one has this piece is riveted onto the flower piece. So
Is that
obviously this
signed on the
no this
pin? Not the
ooh,
pin, but on that.
on that.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm looking.
Lynn, we're getting your feedback thing again today. We gotta look at that again.
I will double check that. I don't know. But it
Yeah,
does
me
look
too.
mass produced, right? Because I could just see a die punching out this flower
Yeah, but they did that a
piece.
lot in the 60s and the 70s. I mean, that was
Yeah.
a pretty common construction. And if somebody's gonna buy that because they want it because it's pretty and they want to put it in their flower collection.
And this was why I asked the question about the color on the other one. I don't think this is Aurora Borealis. I was what would you call this blue? The
Blue.
blue. Thank you. Blue rhinestones. They're definitely not diamonds. I tested for diamonds. I didn't really need to, but had this been gold, I might have had a shot at it. But anyway, okay, cool. So this again, this would be a $19 part. I like it. I think it looks pretty.
It is pretty.
Yeah, it's probably from the 40s or 50s.
Any guesses?
That's
Should I
probably
even
true.
attempt at guessing at a maker? No, because it's not signed, right? Okay.
No,
Okay.
And
I
some
see a
the
lot
ones
of them.
that aren't signed, I mean, Lynn's the same as me on that. Like if it's not signed, lots of times it screams a maker. And then we can check different components. And we're talking about a higher end, but you could find exactly who made that. It's not going to make it worth more money.
Right. So this one looks kind of cool. Unfortunately, it has some flaws. The gold plating, I'm assuming it's gold, is coming off right there and right there. And it's signed
It's
JJ, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with
It's a
JJ.
lot piece.
Okay.
Yeah. JJ's not a good high-end name brand.
Oh, that's hey, not high end, but I'm selling JJ brooches consistently for 30 bucks right now. Not that JJ brooch. Like they're character ones. Don't discount like
Of
when you find cool pigs.
Did you
Of
sell
Okay, and
course,
the
then
every
National
brand.
Lampoon's Chevy Chase one, Carrie? Or you still have it
Yeah.
listed?
No, it sold the same day.
It did.
Yeah, that was a sold I shared, not a listed. Yep.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know that.
Yep,
how
it sold right away.
about a Monet gold-plated necklace?
Is
Is
it
that
just
worth
a chain
anything?
or does it have some bling on it or
That's just it. It's an 18-inch long necklace.
I mean they're sellable, they just aren't
Yeah, I
worth
sell them all the time. 18 inch is the most sought after length, so it's not high priced, but they do sell. Monet is, pretty good across the board.
How
Right.
much you get
Maybe
for
a
those?
$20,
Okay.
$16 to $20 necklace.
Okay. Um, and then one last thing here, because this is the jewelry call. If you guys send me your address, I'll send you one of these.
What is it? A magnet?
Yes.
a little
Oh.
jewelry magnet. Yep.
I
'Cause
got
I
some
give those away on accident all the time. I gave one away last week.
Oh, I like that it
because
has
it's
a
stuck to
ring for
something,
your
or
chunky.
Yeah, they stick to my lots and then I don't retrieve them and then I realize they're all gone and yeah.
Yep,
yeah,
I
yeah.
lose mine all the time too, and gradually I find it back. Like if I go to the flea market, it sticks to the table sometimes.
Yeah. So in my case, I put mine on my keychain that I have my little pocket knife on and my magnifying glass. And I put the little ball at the end because it kept sticking to everything. And it turns out by pushing this as flush into there as I can get it, and having this ball on the end, it sticks to my keychain a lot less.
I worry
let
about
me-
it hitting my credit card. That's why I'm
Yeah.
careful with it on things
Yeah,
that I
so
purse.
I'm gonna put my email address in the chat.
Did you
And a
make this?
complimentary thing of, and for an extra $5, you guys can have a rain X sent to you, or $10.
I've got fuchsia coming, and I've got alien green color coming. This other one is glow in the dark.
I like the glow in the dark one. That's cute.
Yeah. So send me your address if you're interested, and I'll throw some of these in the mail.
Thanks.
At the end, once I get the multi-listing version of this where you can pick the color, I don't know if anybody's going to want to pay $13 for it, but you know, with labor and everything, I don't know if it'll sell or not. But at the end of the day, what I needed to do was to make a product and put it up for sale so that I can. Are you recording? Yes. So that I can justify the $1,000 outlay I made to buy this 3D printer. And so this is going to be a tax write-off if I can sell one or two of these things. But anyway, I'm hoping to start making more sellable product, but I don't want to sell you guys. I want to give this to you guys just to get your feedback. And I put my email address in the thing there. So if you want one, just send me your address.
Right. Anybody else have anything cool to share or any questions?
Thanks for your input on those other pieces. I appreciate that.
Okay.
I have a non-jewelry related question.
Okay, hold on. We'll let Lynn finish up the recording. Let's
Okay.
save her some editing.
Awesome.
Do you want to finish off your recording first?
Is this a watch fab? If I can get it to stop shaking.
Looks like a tie tack or something. Is that a
I
hook on
think
the
it's
other
a-
end?
Put a better light on.
I think it's a type in or tack or whatever, anybody.
It's got like a little funnel.
It's interesting.
And then this looks like a little mini shoehorn.
Oh, that's weird.
You think it's a watch fab thing, Jingle?
No,
I don't think so.
No? So what do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Is it jewelry or is it a tool?
It looks like it might be a tool because this looks like a shoehorn. It's about
For
Yeah, it's too
this
big
is
to
a
be.
funnel. This has a teeny hole. It's like a little funnel. It's
Yeah,
not drug
if-
paraphernalia, is it? I don't know.
I was gonna say if that thing were about half that size, I'd say it looks like it would be a Coke spoon or something.
Right? Okay, never mind. All right, one more.
Janine pops in right when we're talking about drug paraphernalia instead of jewelry, but
Okay, and this lariat.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Does it have little rubber things? Nope, it's a lariat.
And these are stones. I think this is quartz because it's cold, and this might be, I haven't tested it yet, but I think because this is either glass or onyx, these are plastic, and I don't know what this thing is. So it's just a lariat.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Janine thinks she knows what your item is, and she's going to tell me, or she can unmute and tell if she unmutes, she can tell us.
I don't know how to. That didn't work.
I don't think it's a watch fob. I learned a lot about watch fobs. I got a huge lot of them, and I had to go through a bunch. They're kind of boring.
It almost looks like a food or a chemistry prep kind of tool. Very small scale. For somebody who's, scooping out powder, or somebody who's mixing perfumes, or I don't know, man. But it's not a precious metal, is it?
No, I don't think so. I didn't even, let's see if it's magnetic. It's not magnetic.
Janine says it's a tool for making jewelry. It's a funnel and scoop to scoop stuff to go into wax forms.
Okay.
That would make sense. It's about that right.
I mean, this
That makes
hole is
sense.
like teeny tiny. So what
Yeah,
would
that
I,
would make sense.
okay, so it's a jewelry making tool. Okay. Thank you, Janine. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any other questions?
For jewelry.
Questions? All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you next Tuesday, same place, same time.